2011, last amended March 23rd, 2015. A copy of the rules of procedure is available for review at the back of the room or online. All those planning to testify today, which does not include those solely making arguments, such as attorneys. I'm sorry. This is a quasi-judicial hearing. As such, the board reserves the right to deliberate in private. The Ohio rules of evidence do not apply to this hearing, however. Professional rules of conduct do apply, and candor to the tribunal is required. The board members are citizen volunteers and are not paid for their service. They are treated as public officials under Ohio law. Any attempt to influence them, including but not limited to bribery, intimidation, retaliation, which may include contacting their employer in an attempt to exert influence, is punishable as a crime. All should be aware that this meeting is being tape recorded. Therefore, please speak clearly and state your name and address for the record. With that, let's proceed to the first item, which is 100 East Clifton. Mr. Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is an application for a density variance at 100 East Clifton Avenue. This is a request to allow a total of 7 units on the property with a proposed density of 1 unit per 624 square feet of lot area, whereas the RM 0.7 requires 1 unit per 700 square feet of lot area. This has been in front of you previously once before. The applicant had originally intended to have 6 units in the building with a restaurant space on the first floor and a management office on the rear portion of the first floor. Since that had been approved, the owner has decided to convert that formerly proposed management office into a new dwelling unit to come to that 7 unit total. So you can see on your screen, or actually you can't yet, sorry, let me share this real quick. Okay, so now you should be able to see on your screen, this is the proposed first floor section, where you can see in this back area of the first floor here is the additional 7th unit. And you can see from the previous proposal, this was the manager's office in this same area. So now it is just proposed to be switched to a dwelling unit with the same size as the former office was proposed. So staff has found that this density request is in line with previous density requests that have been granted by the board. Being one unit per 624 square feet, it is very close to the 1 to 700 that's required by the code. So staff does not have any concerns about that proposed density. It is in an urban parking overlay as well, so there's no parking required for the use. So with that being said, staff does recommend approval of the density variance to allow a total of 7 units on the property with a proposed density of 1 unit per 624 square feet of lot area per plans by Right Design dated February 18th, 2022.
Okay. With that, we have an applicant with us, Mr. Wright. Is there anything you would like to add?
Mr. Wright.
Muted, Mr. Wright.
Mr. I'll need to swear you in before we take your testimony.
Yeah. But Mr. Wright, you're muted.
Cassandra, could you give me a co-host so I can prompt people?
There we go.
If you
How
could raise
about
your
that? Is that better?
That's
That's
right.
a lot better.
Excellent. Sorry.
Could you raise your right hand, Mr. Wright?
Sure.
You solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Hall,
Mr. Wright, what would you like to add?
Well, we're looking forward to having this additional unit to make the building fully viable as an economic engine. We plan no exterior modifications. They've all been completed. And we'll seek approval for our continuation of our tax credit application, Part 3B amendment. We've already received approval of the permitted structure as it stands. And the interior details will be consistent throughout the building, and we're not proposing any exterior modifications. Even the ductwork for the fan is already installed, so it's a wholly interior work. So hopefully you, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, we have another person signed up, Mr. Paul. You're muted. You're going to have to unmute yourself.
Immediately, thank you.
There you go. There you go. We're
Thank you.
going to have to swear you in, Mr. Paul.
You solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right. What would you like to add?
No, I support Edward's position. I know the space. It's a small space that I think would be ideal for a college student. Right now, it's being unused, and we would like to leverage that space to build an additional apartment that would be suitable for a professional or college student, because UC is just down the street, and I think it will be admirable for that.
Okay.
I think, as Edward stated, there's no external modification. There's about 500 square feet of space internally. That was supposed to be an office, but that decision has been changed. It's now, it would like to make that a 7th apartment at 100 East Clifton.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for either of the witnesses or staff? Hearing none, I would accept the motion.
Mr. Chair, I will move that we approve the zoning variance for 100 East Clifton.
Thank you,
This is
Mr.
definitely a step.
Velasco. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Ms. McKenzie. All right. We'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Weiss,
Yes.
Mr. Velasco,
Aye.
Ms. McKenzie,
Aye.
Miss Dobbin.
Yes.
Chairman votes yes. That passes.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for coming
Thank you.
down.
Thank you.
Do we have any other business today?
We do have included the list of April staff certificate of appropriateness approvals in the
Okay.
packet.
Mr. Chair, I do have a comment on
Yes.
that, if we could.
Sure.
And entertain me. I know you all know I'm not a politician or great. I think our staff has done a great job throughout the years that I've been on the board, and really appreciate that. I do, however, have a question on what is it, on 4th Street? Yeah, 550 East 4th, which was a non-contributing building to the district, but it looks like fairly major work. It's a fairly large building, very predominant on the corner there, and it was a staff approval. And I guess Doug, I was wondering, what are the guidelines for? I don't recall, for non-contributing buildings. Can you refresh my memory as what the guidelines are for how we divide that up between staff approval and board?
So non-contributing buildings have a little bit more leeway as far as what can be done with them. Obviously, since it's not a historic structure, and basically it says that changes to the building that should try to make the building fit in architecturally better with the surrounding contributing buildings in the district. And based on this review, the plans that came in, adding additional window openings and things like that, we
Great.
did feel that this was, meeting the intent of those guidelines by creating, bigger window openings that are similar to, in line with what the other buildings in the
Sure.
district are. So we did feel that was sufficient to be able to approve that at the staff level.
I can appreciate that. And I'm absolutely on the fence, but I guess my question to the board is because, and I'm not sure where that line needs to be. But because of the size of the building, and the board is kind of, I think, staff's support to some degree. We both support each other in our decisions publicly. And I just wonder what the rest of the board, if anybody else had comments on, because of the scale of the building, and it's in a very special little district down there. I know they kind of have their own little fiefdom, but I was just wondering if anybody else on the board thought for maybe a project of this scale, maybe that would be something that the board would have an opportunity to comment on before it was approved. And I'm in support of your decision. So, but having said that, I do think because of the scale and everything, I wonder if anybody else had second thoughts on how we were handling this.
Well, that's a valid question. And obviously since it's in the CBD, that it falls under our jurisdiction. But I also understand why you'd want to have a line drawn there over non-contributing buildings. But your point's well taken. It's the size of the building and how much impact that could have on the area. That is your real question, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a valid question, and I don't know if we can decide that at this exact moment, but I'll tell you what, I'll bring that up to Tim, and maybe we'll at a future meeting we'll look into that.
That'd be great. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Having said that, I'll move to approve the last month's approvals.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Weiss,
Yes.
Mr. Zelasco,
Aye.
Ms. McKenzie,
Aye.
Ms. Smith Dobbins,
Yes.
Chairman votes yes. I think that's it for today.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
It's Sandra. I have one thing I wanted to remind the board about. I sent out an email and I was just asked to follow up one more time. I have 2 board members that indicated interest in attending the NAPC forum this summer. If there's any other board members interested, just let me know. There's a couple openings and I'm trying to wrap it up at the planning department's request. So just a reminder, if anyone wanted to attend, to let me know.
Yeah, we all got an email on that. So if you want to do that, you know what you have to do.
All right, thank you.
Okay, with that, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, and voice approval?
Okay.
Yep, look, it like it's unanimous to me. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.